is where are you?
No, I'm still at my. I just moved because I'm in my basement now, just because I was going to get better audio. So this is a New England basement with stained glass.
Well, that's right.
Artwork.
That's what I thought. I was like, well, this looks fucking fancy. It's
not too fancy, man. This is like the unfinished basement that every but it's just been unfinished the whole time.
You just went full. Your audio started glitching in and out.
Yeah. Does it? Can you hear it now? Is it still...
Yeah. My internet's just been sucking big wieners for the last week or so.
Did you switch over from 5G because of the virus?
Dude, that is perhaps my favorite. I think that's the best one. Burn down the cell towers. Burn down the cell towers because 5G is giving us COVID.
Dude, and then birds aren't real too, man.
Birds aren't real. Birds aren't real. And if you're trying to bring any disinfo into my podcast about birds being real, I'll show you the fucking door, bro.
Dude, I want
you CIA shill. Game over. End of podcast. See you, Marcus.
Where's the podcast guest who talks about the validity of birds being real? You need like ornithologist.
I was just thinking that ornithological. Yeah, I need like an ornithological professor. Avian. I need to get like a bird flu like epidemiologist or something, and just be like, so sir, answer me this: how is H1N1 real if there are no birds?
Dude, everyone says diseases are made in labs. Birds are made in labs.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you. Stay woke, dude. Everyone knows that the Reagan administration wiped out birds and replaced them with drones. All right.
Dude, they are all drones.
They're all drones. You can see them.
Every bird call is a frequency.
Exactly. Why do you think they stand on power lines? They're charging. It's simple, dude. Let me turn on the fan. It's simple. Everyone knows that. And if you don't know that, get the fuck out of my life, all right? Stay woke.
How hot is the South right now, Tommy? It's like 90 here in Maine.
I'm in Maryland, dude. It's fucking spicy. Let's pull it up.
Yeah, humidity.
Actually, it's only 79. I'm like 2 miles from the ocean.
Yep.
But it's been sucking a fat dick the last like week or two. It's
humidity's been bad.
It's been It's been disgusting, dude. As soon as my podcast starts making money, I'm moving to New England.
Dude, do it. Like if you look at the COVID situation, New England.
I'm not exaggerating. Not like, oh, fuck the heat. No, like I legitimately like Georgia. Fuck that. Maryland. Fuck that. I'm going up northern New Hampshire or Maine. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get myself like a cabin. And
cabin in the woods. Hell yeah.
Literally, I am gonna go full just like hermit psycho, just ranting on my podcast in the woods. And then let me tell you about the birds.
Dude, that's already half of Maine and New Hampshire, so you're good either one.
They just don't have podcasts, but it's what they do.
You're gonna show up and you're gonna be like, I have a podcast. He's like, I'll tell you what I want, but like you won't be on the podcast. You're gonna have to write down notes like in secrecy.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up there and start ranting about birds. I'm just gonna blend right in. Yep. Nothing's real. Dude, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. So so every time I have someone on, I always ask them like, what do you think's going to happen next in 2020? That's just because every time I've had someone on, it was like when Kobe died, I was like, what's next? Then COVID started. And then after that, it was like, what's next? And me and my friend were like, I don't know, someone's going to get killed and everyone's going to get angry. George Floyd was killed like an hour later. Yeah. And so every time I have people on now, I ask them, like, what's happening next? And I said it yesterday to one of my friends, Rob. And Rob he goes, Tommy, you ask us that every time I'm on. Like, but I was like, Rob, right now, the biggest news story is a wall of soccer moms fighting against Department of Homeland Security stormtroopers in Portland. You can't make this shit up. So I will continue to ask everyone what the fuck is going on until life gets less boring. So what's going to happen next, Marcus?
I say there's going to be a rent strike versus the federal because they reduced the 600 to I think it's going to be 400. It's gonna be $400 or $200 now instead of $600. Yeah, so that's gonna be the situation going on right now. And obviously, like, not all work has come back, so people are either have to take on like lower wage jobs, which a lot of people are still like rejecting, and then on top of that, it's going to be like, yeah, I think there's going to be just like a general strike that's going to happen, and then there's going to be because I mean they're already doing the secret police. So,
we've already checked that one off. What's up? You broke up again.
Secret police and
secret police. There we go. No, you're good. It's not you. It's my
secret police.
It's not you. It's my internet. It's not you. I swear, it's not you. It's me. But really, for all my guests, it's me.
Let me see it. It might be.
No, check this. I promise you, it's me. It has been consistently me, even when I'm not doing podcasts and I'm just uploading. It's been consistently shitting the bed.
Oh.
What?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back in here, and yeah, we're doing it. I think.
Hold on. Right. I'm uploading to BitChute right now. Whoops. I'm just gonna screenshot those, and I'm gonna re-upload those later. I had a couple uploading in the background. That might have been it, but should get better now. No, don't worry. I wasn't taking pictures of you.
Yeah, just put this on my OnlyFans, dog. That's all I ask.
Just put it on my OnlyFans, man.
I just want the residuals from OnlyFans.
We were talking yesterday, and I decided, man, maybe I should just start an OnlyFans, and that's how I'll fund the podcast. But the idea was just you can never know who your fans are, because I don't want to see, because there's no hot girls. It's going to be a bunch of old dudes. So that's the only way. You just got to not look at that. I don't know, man. Yep. Maybe that's the move.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that there's like, I feel like everyone's like kind of like over it. Like there's a couple people who are still like stringing on for like capitalism and people trying to get back to work.
Yeah.
But like the work that's coming back, it's still like low, and you know, it's because I've talked to what is it, landlords about their situation, because that was like the big one. Like everyone would just be like, if you guys could just take care of
rent
and anything like that, mortgages, because that's like the big system, and then they could just, you know, operate on unemployment until there's a vaccine. But because of whatever productivity that they're trying to push along in the government, it's become like this like weirder thing, because I'm like, not only do people not like in New England, everyone's kind of cool with going back to work right now because really like we're super low, but like in terms of like, you know, you can't operate, like no one wants any state to go ahead, because I'm like, at least in like the New England area, I think that we can all like kind of go back to work in like sections and stuff like that. And because I was in a bar like 2 nights ago indoors, and it was just like procedure, like you had to sit in your section, and then you couldn't wear a mask. But when you're in commute or anything like that, just crossover, you have to wear a mask and stuff like that.
It's weird, man.
And there's like, and it's so funny because New Englanders, like the older people who are at risk, there's a woman at the bar, she like did not care whatsoever.
They don't give a fuck.
She's like, I don't care. I'm like, dude, she said it's almost over for me. I'm just like, there. I'm like, man, yo, live your life. Life.
Live free or die. I get that. I respect that. I mean,
yeah.
Fuck it, you know?
Yeah. Dude, no, that was like the craziest thing, and then I'm just like,
it's almost over. Jesus.
Yeah, because I like, you know, obviously, because it's one of those weird ones where I've seen like the places that are like COVID free, because, and that's all really dependent on people being cool with like borders closing down, but because of America and blah blah blah, you can't shut down the borders even to limit that. Yeah. Dude, number one. Even, dude, I've been talking with friends who have to like go back to work, and they like work overseas in like Europe and stuff like that. And they can only go with like their whole thing. They have to like, you know, they have to get tests before they go on the flight. They have to get tests as soon as they arrive. They have to quarantine for 14 days, but then they can commute after that to work. And then he's like, dude, I can only go here. But like that it's one of those weird ones where I'm just like, you could isolate the virus if like, you know, you were just fine with like limitations.
Yes.
But because so many people feel like it's their liberties to, I can travel wherever I want, whenever I want. And I'm just like, you can, but this would be all contained if we could just stop people commuting.
It's Yeah, hey man, America number one. Whether it's winning wars or whether it's COVID deaths, number one across the board.
COVID.
It's like
Made in China, thrived in America.
Woo!
Bam, bam.
Hey man, made in China, sold in America. Just like iPhones and Xboxes. No problem with those. But yeah, it's that what's that like flower meme where it's like the meme screaming and then it's like do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
It looks like an old Looney Tunes drawing
shoot.
almost, like an Acme drawing or something.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's for everyone listening. Yeah, for everyone listening, it's like a. I mean, the basic meme is someone screaming, and then the next is just like tee hee.
Yep.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's like me taking a long hot shower, my parents screaming, "You need to save money," versus like my parents buying a new car, like tee hee. It's so. But the meme I saw is like you have to wear a mask. And then it's just screaming like, "This is an American," versus like secret police in Portland. Like, well, let them go.
Dude, there's that. I mean, that's a trade off, man. Like people, like whatever is like liberty, because it's always in the favor. Because everyone who has no issues with the secret police, but with the mask, it's just like they don't feel immediately threatened.
Yes,
that's why.
Yes, you're right. The mask is on your face.
Yeah.
The secret police, they're a couple states over. So
yeah, they're a couple states over in an unmarked van, arresting someone that you don't know, but whatever.
And you don't like because why are they protesting? What do you? Yeah, you're right. It's not an immediate thing.
Yeah.
What are some goods that can come out of, or fuck it? You know what? Fuck positivity. What are the worst things that can come out of what's going on? Which one's more fun? Yeah.
Well, I'm like, there's no states that are gonna be like separatist, and I don't feel like everyone's like kind of like, oh, is it gonna be a civil war? I'm like, no.
I think we're all just too big of pussies.
Definitely not. Well, it's also one of those things where I'm just like strength in numbers, because I'm like, I know like there's some stats I do keep tab on. Like I've kept a tab on gun purchases. That was a big one. Like that was a big one. That went up. That's been up. That's been going up since the stock. The other one is like food security. That one also is like people like the hoarders are like thriving during this. Like everyone's kind of concerned. Like how do you protect yourself? How do you make sure you have food? And then the other one is like people who are trying to like find some other like solutions. Because I'm just like in terms of like what progress is being made for the protests, for the disease, like science, we have to wait. Like even the first batch of vaccines, I'm like, I don't want that first batch. I don't want to be the guinea pig. I'm just like, I'm gonna wait.
I don't want to get on the first commercial flight. I'll wait for 50 years.
I think of that as like every now and then I'm like, oh no, patient zero zombie can happen from this. But I'm like,
absolutely.
This is what happens in every movie. And I don't want to freak out about that. But I'm like, the vaccine has its like, yeah.
I'll be on the fifth SpaceX vacation to Mars. Not the first four. Let's see what happens. I'll be on the fifth one. Do we got it worked out? The kinks worked out? Yeah. All right.
Dude. Oh, God. Dude, Tesla, man. Dude, do you do any stocks at all?
No, I'm dead broke. But actually, dude. I did stocks in high school. That's I had an E-Trade account before I was even 18. I had my parents open it, and I worked a summer job, and I saved money, and I invested in Apple. Made a ton of money. But I had to use it for some other stuff in college to essentially keep myself out of jail. That's another podcast. But no, I don't. But I don't know about Tesla stock. I know that Tesla's opening the Gigafactory in Texas.
It's going up. Like Tesla stock is like going up. It's also the same with like Amazon. Like those are like two companies that like I hate both their CEOs, but like they're just gonna keep climbing. Like that's annoying. That's the annoying part. And I'm invested in the companies. That's one of those things where I'm just like, shit.
You just gotta suck the dick.
I should sell the stock or keep it, but I'm like, it's literally like since I've had Amazon stock, and I think it's grown like it's just like one stock, and the one stock is like that's it. It's just gone. It's just going up. It's not. There hasn't been a peak yet, and I'm just like it's
knock on wood.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. But I also invested before the pandemic in pharmaceuticals, so I'm doing good there too.
Marcus Cardona, fucking big dick swinging.
This is comedy. I'm like, that guy talks a lot of jokes about like the world, but I'm just like, I also watch the stocks. But
yeah. Hey man,
there's just no good stock jokes. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta,
like,
hey dude, you're just getting the Venn diagram of the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises. You're going Bane, you're going into the stock market, but you're also going Joker, just making fun of the world. It's
the most. it's so nihilistic, but that's
it is, dude.
That's
it is.
Become.
To me, that is like the most beautiful, like nihilistic comedian, because it's not just like fuck the world, but it's an act. You're like the world's fucked. How come you're invested in the stock market? Because that is where all of the money is. Period. It doesn't matter how edgy you are. The Fortune 500, they're gonna keep plugging along just like they have for the last 3 centuries. Might as well throw your fucking line into it and be tugged along with it. That's the best.
Pretty much it, man. Dude, you know those people who are covered in tattoos? You know, people who have like a million tattoos?
Yeah.
Like their whole body, like their personality is, I have tattoos all over my body. It's always one of those things where I'm like, if something's been with me long enough, I should get that tattooed on me. I have no tattoos, but I'm like, I could get like a Amazon tattoo if like that brought me money.
Get sponsored by your investments.
Tesla, dude. No, dude. Well, I'd have Sally Mae. I'd have Sally Mae tatted on my back as a tramp stamp because they own me forever. I am their bitch, so it's fine.
Fuck that, man. I should just get U.S. Treasury coming up your neck.
Yeah, no, I'm just like taxes, just all my
Federal Reserve up the neck.
Just teardrops that represent all my taxes, the years I pay taxes.
Teardrops as the purchasing power of $1 drops.
Yeah.
And then have gold rising up there, yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna have a plummeting stock market, and that's gonna go into my pubes to my dick. And be like, it's going down.
It's going down, bitch. Yeah.
So it's tanking. It's gonna be a bad joke, but it'll make sense for.
Yeah, it'll be funny. It'll be funny when the world's burning.
Yeah, I'll hook up with an economist, and she'll be like, "This is very hilarious.
This is funny." You'll be like, "Thanks, I'm broke, but thank you." I hope it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I have a friend who's covered in tattoos, but he's a very successful. He just day trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a fucked up like first half of his life. He's like 10 years older than us.
Yeah.
Ended up in like jail in high school, and moved to America with like $40, and now he has a subreddit. I forget what it's called. But yeah, he's like a very successful day trader. I keep trying to get him on my podcast, and he's like, one day.
Dude, well, I mean, it's like one of those things where I'm like, you can't like take the absolute knowledge, because like I was giving dumb knowledge. I'm like, oh, you should invest in like like right now I'm just like, I'm investing in gold, and I'm like, every time the economy sinks, it's always like, invest in gold. But I'm just a comedian. Like there's never any like real like. I feel like there's some advice, but it's like a lot of economic advice comes from, don't get it from comedians, but get it from like people who like have expertise in like sociology and economics, because you just need to see what companies people will always be in. Like Google will always be fine, Tesla will always be fine, Amazon will always be fine, but then it comes down to the smaller companies. Because I'm like, dude, did you watch you saw the Goya controversy, right? Because like I tried switching over.
The beans.
No, yeah.
Wait, have you ever seen that meme of Trump? And it's obviously fake, but it's for all the idiots out there. But it's Trump. Then it's like a newspaper clipping from like 1997. And then it's Donald Trump, 1997. I was watching Cars 2 in theaters, and I was eating baked beans, and then I spilled the baked beans all over my lap. And a young African-American man said, "Yo, this nigga eating beans," and everyone laughed. That's when I decided to become a Republican. But now because the Goya beans thing, I was just like full circle. The beans have come back.
Dude, the Goya bean situation.
What was that? I started working at a liquor store 2 weeks ago, and I've been completely unplugged from the meme world.
That's cool. No worries. So the Goya bean situation was the president of Goya, like Goya Foods. So this is like spices. This is like everything, like every canned good. Goya was like, oh no, I'm so glad that we have the president who's doing such a great job, who supports us. Goya Beans stands behind the president. And it was so weird. Like, I don't know why they brought in the president of Goya Beans in the first place for a press conference during a pandemic, but he decided to make that statement. And then everyone is switching over to Sabor or whatever, like the other brands that aren't like Goya. So I'm just like, it was one of the weirdest things, but I'm like, it is funny because like it's one of those, it's such a big disconnect of the company whose main demographic is like Latinos. It's kind of like when NASCAR supported like BLM, like we weren't expecting it, but then it's just like, I guess I need to support NASCAR now.
yeah. It's the least. Yeah, it's like fuck Goya Beans, and then it's like NASCAR, the new beacon of progressivity. It's like it really is.
NASCAR, NASCAR beat NFL, NBA, like every like predominantly black sport. Like the like weirder thing that would happen would be like if like the Olympic Ice Curling League was like, we support BLM, and we're like, we didn't need you to, but cool.
But what would be like the unpredictable shift? It'd have to be like the NBA start like opposing BLM or something. It would have to be like, what would be the unpredictable shift that no one...
live sport.
What's up? You're breaking up on me, Marcus. God damn it. There you are. There you are. You're back. You're back.
Okay. Check.
You're
cool.
back. Yeah.
Well, the big one now is with sports, it's become less political, but more about like getting live sports back. Especially like, there's no real political statement for, because I'm like, I've seen like the WNBA, and we'll make that joke about them and their own sense of people watching their sports. But like there was a walkout during like the national anthem in an already empty stadium. So it was still weird how trivial, like how much of a performance like going into an sports event is. It's kind of like when they bring in like the military before anything like that, and I'm just like, cool, I support the troops, because it's like one of those things. I'm like, because I'm like, there's the people who believe in the flag being strictly associated with the troops. If you don't like support the flag, you're against the troops. And I'm like, no, that's not necessarily true. But it's like that weird. It's that weird like level of patriotism that's been tied in with like the military, which is also religion. Like that's it. Like the tying of the three is just really what's made like this culture of crazy people who are just like, oh no, we need to like, make sure this happens. But in terms of sports, like I feel like during this pandemic, a lot of celebrities like lost their, especially non-creative celebrities, but like artists who every time we had something to do, like they would just like give like a speech, like, the Imagine videos.
Interject themselves.
Dude, no, I love Aaron Paul, but he was part of like the right in like the beginning of BLM. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like he black and white videos. I'm sorry. And I'm just like, it's one of those things
no
where I'm
asked.
Like, you have power. Yeah, you have power. Just donate money. Just show us that you donate money.
Take an ad out. Just do whatever. But you're right. Yeah. It's Tim Dillon. Do you watch Tim Dillon, the comedian?
Of course, man. Tim Dillon is my comedy.
Tim Dillon is like my older brother introduced me to him. Not in real life, I wish. Is my new favorite person. And, he does his like spoofing of like celebrities, like letting us know that we're all in it together from their like 7,000 gallon pool inside their living room. Like we're in this together. Yeah. Like all these rich people staying at home with their personal chef saying like, you're privileged. It's like, oh fuck, thank you, Tom Hanks. Like, I didn't know.
Tim Dillon's a champion because he's like, dude, you know his like background, right? He's like from Long Island. He like comes from like a conservative family, but he's like a gay man, so he like because of that weird discrepancy, he makes fun of both parties. Like he's very like, I don't actually know his political stance ever.
Neither do I, and that's why I love him.
He'll just literally just make, because I'm like, he's not a centrist, but he's also not a leftist, not a rightist. And I'm just like, it's very awakening. And I understand why he's not getting like, unless you're like truly into comedy or podcast, because he's a big podcast guy, is he's not he won't ever get his like message like pushed along too far. from like major platforms.
They
It's kind
won't.
of like,
They won't let them trend too far.
It's even like what happened. Wild and Out, Nick Cannon's show got pulled because he said some anti-Semitic stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then that was like a big thing because I'm like, it wasn't necessarily like the narrative got changed because it wasn't necessarily anti-Semitic, but because of like the rhetoric that was used or some of the phrases that were used, it just seemed like it was anti-Semitic. And like he publicly apologized, for his like job stake, but he lost his show. But now it's like, where's that creative energy going? And I'm just like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, again, it comes down to me, it comes down to investments. It's like, what network is going to actually like invest in like being like a progressive speech one? Because I think Netflix right now has like the platform for saying whatever the fuck you want as long as it's compelling. It's like
for now.
I'm like I've seen like because Vice used to be like the edgy one where like we're going to show you.
It was. If Vice was they would show you. They would say what no one else said.
They would show you the extremes,
yes.
And then Netflix now it's because it's so funny. Netflix shows you so many extremes, but also international extremes, which is cool because you could see some crazy like international like documentaries, especially if you have like the weird Netflix accounts that are like a Middle Eastern Netflix account. Or you can see Iranian like documentaries that are banned.
Yeah, if you use a VPN, apparently you can see shit that you normally can't see in like America. Marcus, you there?
Yeah,
there you are.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I haven't broken up with you.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. It freezes up. It Hey, plug your shit real quick. I gotta go piss. I know we're only 20 minutes in.
It's fine, guys. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to Tommy Kerrigan's podcast. My name is Marcus Cardona. I'm a stand-up comedian here in Maine. I was in Brooklyn, but because of the pandemic, I got relocated here. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Marcus Cardona. That's MarcusCardona. I did a podcast called the Meme Therapy Podcast. I was going to release a bunch of episodes, but then the protests happened, so I delayed that. But now I'm going to probably work on them again and start doing some episodes regularly. But follow me there for that. I'm also producing some live comedy shows. So if you are in Maine on August 14th, 2020, at Thompson's Point, Maine, in Portland, Maine, I'm doing a comedy show. It's called Cabin Fever, an outdoor comedy show for a socially distant time. Go check that out. That'll be cool. I'm really excited for that. And I have like a couple different comedy projects going on in the future, but stay tuned for more projects from me on my social media. That's pretty much it. Anyway, we are here. We're checking out stuff. And oh, hey, what's up? We got Tommy and he's back. Okay, cool. I plugged my things. We are good. Yada, yada, yada. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, dude. But it almost seems like it's like the spotlight shifts almost on like the place where you can. I mean, I guess it's a trend as old as time, but it's like what is in MySpace, Facebook, to Instagram, to like you're saying, Vice, Netflix, and it's like now I felt like for the last couple of years that it's like Rogan is losing his meteoric rise. Like I still think he's great. I mean, he's the one I started listening to his podcast in 2011, like a year after it came out. He's been a massive influence. I haven't listened to him regularly for almost 5 years, but yeah, maybe not like the meteoric rise. I'm sure he's still rising, but it's not like the
he's probably peaking right now because like
he's cashing out.
Well, no, yeah, he got the Spotify deal, which is good because he gave him a bigger platform. But every now and then, it's always like because of guests, because he allows people to be on his bigger platform. Like that's the only time I ever see Rogan getting chastised for like putting on Elon Musk, for putting on Kanye, for putting on XYZ people.
Wait, he brought Kanye on?
I think he was. No, that's a rumor. Like that hasn't happened.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that's been a rumor for years.
You're just like shit. I want to watch it.
I was like, I missed it.
Let's cancel this podcast right now. I need to watch this.
Shut it down, dude. I hope he. Sorry for cutting you off.
No worries.
I hope he goes because he's taking everything off YouTube. On like New Year's, right? New Year's Eve or New Year's, or it's exclusively Spotify come January. I hope that he does one last episode on YouTube. And I hope it's Elon Musk, Alex Jones, and Kanye West. All three together.
It's one of those ones where I'm just like, because I'm like, no matter what, I do think Joe Rogan's a good moderator. Except at times when he gets those people like he wants to egg on. Like my favorite one was like the Bill Burr episode where he's just like egging Bill Burr on his like politically incorrect thoughts, and Bill Burr is less like, dude, fuck you, dude.
Fuck off.
Don't listen to me. I know, like,
Bill, do you wear a mask? Really, Joe? We're gonna do this. Me without a medical degree, you without a medical degree. We're gonna talk about this. You want to do it? Okay.
Yep, dude. He's like, no. He's like, I don't fuck with this shit at all. So like, that's really what it comes down to. So I'm like, all right, let's fucking do it. But it's one of those ones where you just have to be kind of like aware of your influence as a person. Like I feel like I don't have like that. I feel like I have working class influence, dude. I just wrote this joke yesterday. Like I never think I'm gonna get to. I don't ever think I'm gonna climb into the upper class of society.
Yeah, you will.
Dude, no, I'm gonna stay middle class, and the reason why is I know too many people named Bubba, and like I think that's the only thing. I think, dude,
I
don't think that there's any rich person.
What's up? God damn it, you broke up.
Yeah.
There you go. You said rich person, and then you broke up.
That's the option.
God damn it.
Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna be the only rich people who know Bubba's they don't exist unless it's Bill Clinton, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost like zombie arms pulling you back down. Bubba affiliations.
No, I know 3 Bubbas, and for some reason I'm pretty sure they affect my credit score. I'm just like, fuck, I shouldn't.
Shows the Hollywood.
I shouldn't have been so nice to you. I was like, I offered you a cigarette outside. Shit.
God damn it.
There's my credit score.
I was going to say, it shows like the Hollywood elites with their blacklist book, and they're like, ooh, and they pull up Marcus's name in the database, and they're like, I see 4 Bubba connections.
I see.
You're allotted one.
You're
allotted one. Everyone makes a mistake. But Marcus, you have 4 strong ones with recent texts even. Ooh.
4 Bubbas, and Bubba's spelled different every single
4 Bubbas and each one different. Yeah, and each one differently. Oh my god, and he even has a Jim Bob. All right, buddy. You're out of here.
Yeah,
You're back to Monday nights.
Dude, well, dude, I feel like that's at some point when you do have money, you think about your connections and stuff like that, because like once you're at the top, it's all about your connections, and then
it's all about staying at the top.
You dismiss people who do not, dude. It's a WWE plot. It's like, do you love her value? No, and then you're just like, who else can I beat to get to the top?
Yes,
and then that's it,
dude. It's capitalism. It's once you become a big enough company through offering a better product and getting to the top, then all of a sudden the modus operandi changes, and it goes to how do we suppress innovation that's going to undercut us.
Yeah.
So you truly become the thing that you were fighting against.
Yep.
That is. Yeah, you get to a certain point where it's like, can I just maintain? And I feel like that's a soulless place, man.
Sisyphus, just the forever working class.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, definitely a soulless place. Well, I mean, there is like a level, because I'm like, there's you vacation all the time, Rich, and then there's like the can I fuck a kid and get away with it, Rich? Like pedophile, Rich. Like
that's what we were talking about yesterday.
No, that's the tier of money.
What do you get the guy that has everything?
I want to be I agree with the Republican rich level financially. I want to agree with the Republicans financially,
but just below Epstein Island.
No. I mean, yeah, no. I think way lower. I don't even want to like vacation everywhere. Like I don't need to go to.
I want to vote Republican for my wallet. Not Epstein. I go in first class, but I don't have a plane.
I want to go to like 4 countries where shit's like legal. Like I don't know. I'm like that's pretty much it, dude. Like there's people who like exotic vacations. I just want to go. I'm like, hey, did you know it's like legal to like do this thing here? I'm like, what? And I'm just like, legality is just like, I don't know, like shooting a bow and arrow. Like if I could explode cars, that'd be cool. Like
explode
legally,
cars,
like,
maybe like hunt an elephant or something.
Dude, I just want to. I just want like a taste of like Mad Max world, just like a little dip my foot in without losing my mind.
Yeah, just dip your toes into the quicksand. I don't know if you can only dip your toes in that.
Dude,
maybe it pulls you in.
Dude, well, everyone talks about the pedophile island, but I'm pretty sure that there's like the Heart of Darkness. You get to hunt a human island, and
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I don't want to say I wouldn't be that guy, but I'd like to be on one side of it just so I could be like, okay, I can hunt a person. But then also there's like a part of me that's like, no, I could survive. I can outwit the hunter, and then I'd also take on the other side.
I don't know.
Like, you get to take me down.
When you get to that Bezos level, man, what else is there?
Dude, yeah, because I'm like, you're
hunt
not
a human.
Dude. Well, I mean, like productivity. Once you start just making money off other people, is you.
Once
just
you've automated it. Once you've automated.
Yeah. When you make money in your sleep, like that's like just the start of ridiculous levels. Because I'm like, every now and then I think about the Kardashians because I'm like, oh, they got oil money, but then I always see these trash products. I'm like, how do you still need more money? And also, how is this product so bad? Because I'm just like, but it is associated with the name. So
absolutely. I mean, dude, that's why I want to build a podcast. Is like, it doesn't. I got into med school, but it doesn't matter if you're only making money based on the number of like patients you see. I want to build up a podcast and get such large viewership that I can just get monetized on traffic, because then that's just kind of always cooking. But I think the key is to don't aim for the king. Like, I'm not aiming to be at the top of the world, because you're going to have a lot of other people that want that spot. I'm aiming for, it's not the money. What I want is how I get the money. I could get $100 billion, but if it means that I have to work some cutthroat lifestyle, to me that's hell. If I made $30,000 a year, but I made it through this, and I could just go live in a creepy cabin in the woods, to me that's like my own billionaire status.
Yeah.
So you gotta don't put your head too high over the parapet. don't go gunning for the king. You just want to get on like the lower courts. Still get in the castle. But like, you don't gun for the throne, because you'll get gunned. That's my logic.
You'll get assassinated.
Yeah, you don't go for the Oval Office. Don't go for Forbes, like a top Forbes list. I think you gotta choose your own quote billionaire status. Woman you love, got your own place, cool dog, a cool cat, some land, and you do what you like. But that no one else is necessarily trying to take, you know?
Yeah.
I want to have the highest penthouse in Manhattan. Well, no, now you're going against, like, Russian oligarchs.
Yeah.
No, you gotta stay below.
Just I like how the message of this podcast is just stay middle class, because you won't survive at the bottom, but you'll lose your soul at the top. Like,
it is just promoting averageness. Just
take your skills, monetize enough, but just enough.
Just no enough. More. Don't take on the power structure. Don't challenge NSA spying. Don't try to be some Ed Snowden. Take the paycheck. Go on vacation. Don't get the best bottle of liquor, but don't get the worst. Just go find your place in the woods.
Just right here.
Keep your head down.
It's weird that's like a weird thing to not promote to people.
It's weird that we have to make that joke.
But we have to make that joke, because I'm like, if not, then I'm like, you do get bored in the middle, but I'm not saying, because I'm like, I've definitely had to like think outside the box to financially stay afloat. But then, like, if I ever got too rich, I'm just like, yeah, I guess I'm just evil now. Like, I guess I just do evil stuff now.
I think you just have to embrace it. I think you just have to embrace it. I don't care
how many heads I step on or whatever.
I think you just gotta start. Yeah, maybe that's a problem. Maybe if like I came across $1 billion, I would look back at this podcast and be like, "Fuck those idiots! I'm at the top, bitches."
Invest. Well, it's would you still want to, if you found? Well, I mean, okay, so the hypothetical is you find $1 million or $1 billion.
I think I would withdraw, man.
$1 million. Do you still try to make money off of that? Because no matter what, no one's just like happy with just holding money. Or else. Because
I don't know.
What would you spend your money on first, and then invest in?
Sure.
Like those two.
I would build my own place. I'd want like a place. I don't want like a giga mansion, but I'd want some like extra room so I could have like family and friends over on a whim. I'd want land. I'd want privacy. That's what I want. I want at least like a mile in each direction. A decent chunk of land.
A mile in each, yo, Mark.
Yeah, a billionaire. I don't want an island, but just give me a 2 by 2 mile place with my place in the center.
Tommy's just gonna be like, hey, if anyone disagrees with me, I could shoot you. It's gonna take them a mile to get to you. So you better agree with me in my castle.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. No, I'd want that. I'd want to be out in the woods.
Yep.
Enough to. Honestly, what I would do is, so after that, would I still make money? I think I would, but I think what I would do is I would choose like goals that I want to see. Like I would try. I think I'd probably create like political action committees, but I would push for like the legalization of psychedelics or something. I wouldn't be like leftist values or conservative values. I think instead I would be like, yo, I think everyone would chill out.
Egos, both of you.
Exactly. Like, I don't give a shit about you. I don't give a shit about you. Fuck your Antifa. Fuck your wall. Everyone take acid. But that's what I would do. Is I would push from a third direction. That's what I would do.
Yeah. That's good. That's definitely it, because I'm like, that's definitely how politics.
Yeah, and you would fund that. That's what I would do. Is you would invest and you would fund that, because that's something I think that would be the tide that raised all ships.
Yeah.
If people just had, you don't even have to take it. But if you had access to it, if you could just go get it, just like you go get some booze. If you could just, go grab a bag of psychedelics, go grab a bag of mushrooms, and you didn't have to go buy it from some creepy dude in a trench coat on like a rainy street corner. Like, I think that would be like a leave the world better than you found it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. At least that's what I like to think I'd do. Who knows? Maybe if I got that money, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's destroy some small businesses.
Dude, it's one of those weird ones where like, because I'm kind of with you too, where I'd like kind of hermit it, but then it's like, you don't need money if you don't need to participate in society, but like at some point, like, power, or like, how you're getting electricity, like, there's so many like luxuries of like human life that you can't like completely live without society.
Yeah.
Like if you lived in a mansion, you're just like, okay, heat, electric, like whatever utilities,
water,
and then food, water, blah blah blah. Because I'm just like, because
where do those come from?
Like space, and then also you're bringing people, you're like enough space for family and friends to come in, because I'm like, that's like Tupac idea, where I'm like, yo, I live in a mansion, my friends live here, or Billy Madison, Billy Madison, like that dumb, like he's like, oh yeah, like now I own this place, I can just throw parties and stuff. Because I'm like, it's still weird that even when you have wealth, you just want like the parties for fun, but then like, a lot of times when you get like super rich or when you're climbing, like those parties are just networking and how to accumulate more money.
Fuck that. I don't ever want that. I'd want to be able to like invite my friends over and like do what like I always wanted to do as like a kid. Like I would always, whenever there'd be like a sleepover or like a double sleepover, there was always like, I would just always imagine like, what if this didn't have to end? Like, like what if I could just have my friends over and be like, you guys just want to get drunk and play video games, but instead of 2 nights, because whether it's you got to go to school on Monday, or now in our 20s, almost I turned 30 in 2 weeks, you got to go to work on Monday. What if it was just, you guys just want to do this on Monday? Do you want to do it on a Wednesday? Like, Tommy, I got to go to work. Well, no, I have so much money that like I can just give you whatever your employer was going to give you. Like, so what would that be? What would that be? Just the sleepover that doesn't end. Just
here's a fucked up one. Okay. How about, this is gonna be like Black Mirror-ish for a situation, but they find a new technology that you can transfer your body into a human child's body, and you can also wipe the memory of that child, but that is a human child that you're just moving your body and memory into, or your memory into.
So I could become young again? So I could become young again?
So you could become young, and that like young self. So you just become a child again, but you just have this mansion, but you're
I hold on to my wealth.
Yeah. But you have
that sounds stupid, because if you're a child, you would just spend all the money. You would burn it. Can I set up some safeguards so no matter what, there's always like $1 billion on some Cayman Island ashore?
Yeah. So basically, you're genetically just turning yourself into a trust fund.
This is like immediately just venturing into evil zone. Like I'm just
yeah. No matter what, there's a child that had a life ahead of itself.
Exactly. What if I grow it out of my own Wait, well then that's still but that's still a
but
person.
Now you're thinking about clones. So I'm just
And
like,
that's still a
shit.
person. Fuck.
Is a clone of no? I'm just fucking.
Are they? Are they humans or are they just meat? Yeah, I don't know.
Are
man.
they just copies of you? It doesn't matter.
They just grow my organs.
Is it its own individual?
Is it Rick and Morty? Don't think about it, Morty. Just
dude.
Rick, they just died. Don't think about it, Morty. We're just coming in.
Clones.
Yeah,
dude. Well, yeah, the multiverse where Corona didn't happen, and and your podcast, and you became Tilda.
Yeah, but and then I become the clone. Well, who knows? Yeah, I don't know, man. So, but one thing I think though is like I think I need to make money because I think I need to. What I truly think it is I think I have to experience all these fantasies, not having to work anymore, not having to listen to anyone, having my own place, even going beyond like what if I had my own power generation, like solar panels, so I didn't even have to rely on society at all. No kids, no like debts, no responsibilities. I think I have to do all that so I can see firsthand that like that's not happiness. You know? I feel like it's like a spiritual.
Well, dude, I always think
you gotta find
like,
it all to see that that's not the answer.
Well, I always look at just like rich celebrities who've like made it and like the tragedies behind like their lives because I'm like they're always like super unhappy. Or like I just read and like listened to the podcast with Mark Maron and Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey.
Marcus.
I'm like super spiritual, doesn't care, just does art.
You froze up at Jim Carrey. So I've been like listening to Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey is like one of those people who is like very self-aware. He's just like, and he also has like the same thing. I'm like, I wish everyone like could just experience like having all the money just to realize that won't make them happy. Because I'm just like, it is one of those things because I think that because I don't think I'm gonna have kids. You don't think you're gonna have kids because that I feel like beyond your own happiness, there's like the idea of generational wealth where I'm like. The happiness that you accumulate is by providing money for the next generation of people. Like I have my niece and I have my niece and I have my two nieces and my nephew, and like I'd like to think that I'd like give them some money as like an uncle, but it's like one of those things where I'm like you don't really see that or think about that, like how that's gonna help them in their life because I'm just like I don't plan on like my value now if I die is like. Cool, you guys get like $1,000 each. But you know, it's gonna be that. I guess that's a thought of like once you get older and once you like when you think about money and happiness, it's providing for your immediate family. If you can provide for the world, great. But I'm like, there's so many more people who just don't care. It's just immediate family. You know, just keep generational wealth in the name. So that way. It's supposed to be easier for the following generation, but I'm like, it's still like it's not. But yeah, does it make it any easier, or do they just turn like into ungrateful shits?
Yeah, dude, I'm like, because I look at all my rich friends who've like had it, and I'm like, oh, they're not happy either. Then I see, but they have like advisors who kind of guide them in like smart financial decisions.
I think what I would do is I would try to like alleviate like. Just true like base undifferentiated pain, people without like water. I think I wouldn't try to like set like here I'm gonna pay for your tuition because ultimately they're still gonna have to just battle with all their own shit. Like I'm gonna give you I think just like the legitimate like no this is a non-biased it doesn't matter if you're Bezos or a poor kid in Africa, not having water sucks. Like I think that's what I would try to do. I think I would try to alleviate like base pain. Food, water, nutrition.
That's how I feel. I feel like no matter what, like the best thing I can do is like environmentally. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan's gonna be like, but it's probably not gonna be better than it is today.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get to eat sushi, and it's not gonna be a thing in a couple of years.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. We've been on this ride for a while, and it's. I think we might be. I mean, what is a cancer? A cancer is infinite growth on finite resources.
Yeah, that's Well, dude, don't be an eco terrorist with that logic though. Because
no. I'm not gonna go all like. And because of that, Marcus,
we're the virus.
Yeah, we're the virus. Join my cult, Marcus. This has been recruiting. I'm not even recording. You're in.
Second in command. All right, let's go.
Next movement, we're bombing Wall Street. No, not that. Not shout out NSA. Not that. No, because you're right. That is a. Yeah. It's also like an easy like blank check to justify all of your own madness. Be like, I'm saving the planet. Well, no, that's just as bad as like radical fundamentalist religion. Like I'm blowing up this kindergarten because I'm doing it for the great being. Yeah, I think it would. What I really think it is, man, I've been thinking about this more and more, is like, so like for the longest time I wanted to acquire like $1 billion and then like push for like the legalization of psychedelics for both like mental health therapy and for general recreational use, thinking that would probably have the best shot at like helping the world. Because it's not that it's necessarily going to like change you or I's life. It might for a little bit, but it would be some like influential senator or billionaire would drop acid and like experience unifying love, and then they would be able to create huge shifts in society.
Yeah.
But the more I think, I'm like, so ultimately like what this is like a psychedelic, it'd be backing like psychedelic political action committees. But ultimately it's like, this is just like my own like venture to try to like create world peace. And then I was thinking, it might not be, that might not be the purpose of life on Earth. It might not be to create world peace. Like life on Earth might be almost like Navy SEAL selection. Like it's purposely hell. You broke up.
Yeah, life on Earth is about the struggle, Tommy.
Yeah, like it might. That's the thing, is it might be like a curriculum. Like if you're like, not that I've ever been in it, but I imagine if like let's say you're in the Navy SEAL selection and you like your memory was wiped of anything before it, you might get to a point where you're like, maybe we can make this so good that like everyone can have sleeping bags and food, and then like you eventually get to the end of selection and you're like, oh no, it's purposely shit because that's what pulls out these golden characteristics of people. Maybe we're all just gods simulating life on Earth, and it's supposed to be hell because it's the only way we can learn, right? You fix the world, and then you get out, and they're like, you asshole, you broke the simulation. Now they're all just, now they all have long hair, and they're just fucking in the Garden of Eden. It's supposed to be hell, asshole.
Oh God, yeah, let's not. Yeah, I don't want to think about the simulation.
I'm maybe a little too off the rails. It's
because no matter what, like we can't all be at Burning Man doing acid. That's not a society.
Yeah, someone's got to be running the subways.
Everyone got herpes at Burning Man. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. So wait, really?
No, well, it was Coachella, because I'm like, that was also the spectrum, because I'm just like, you have to think about like which weird society from a festival, because I'm like, no matter what, like,
wasn't it Duncan
that's the best
Trussell?
way I think about it.
Duncan Trussell said something about Burning Man. He was like, Burning Man was great, and he was like, and then I started thinking, man, what if society was just like this all the time? He goes, and then I asked one of the organizers at Burning Man, he goes, if life was like this all the time, he goes, these people would eat each other.
Oh, dude, no, it's
it's a temporary
acid, drugs make me want to like kill people sometimes. I'm just like, I'm just gonna let this pass.
Drink some ayahuasca, put some like yak blood on my forehead, and be like, let's sacrifice some humans. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't get in the sacrifice, but
I think I would go full in. I would go full in Mayan.
Dude, there's still people. I mean, there's still people who I'm like, I try to like be on good terms with people, but like, I just don't include them in like my social circle. But when I'm on like shrooms or something like that, like, I'm very aware of like my ego and like any kind of conflict I have with other people. So it's like, I mean, that's the one where I'm just like, oh, I wish you were dead, but like socially, I'm not like gonna go out of my way to kill.
Yeah, not go out of my way to kill you. I just wish you weren't in my life.
I'm just like, I don't like your energy. I need it exalted.
Yes, I know that feeling. It becomes apparent. You're just like, you're like, I want that person out of my life forever.
Yep.
But like, I don't want to do anything about it.
Yeah. You just need to ghost people, because I'm just like, hopefully it helps your growth. Hopefully it helps their growth. It's one of those things where I'm just like, and ultimately when you get in that mood, you're trying to help yourself and hope that they help themselves, and then both grow and then can come together at some point, maybe.
Or not. Maybe the purpose isn't. That's one thing I think as I get older, I'm realizing more. I'm like, you know what? It might not be my like purpose or responsibility to like help that asshole out. It might be that the most helpful thing I can do is just ghost them and stop talking to them. Like, who knows? Maybe that is their karma. By enough people ghosting them, they're gonna eventually go, maybe I'm a cunt. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dude, I just personally am just crazy up top, and I'm just like, if you want to hang, cool. If not,
I put it up. I put it up front, man. I'm like, dude, I always used to make a joke, and like, no one's ever really like laughed. Which, fuck them. They just don't have a good sense of humor. I'd always be like, yeah, I'm crazy, but yeah, I'm crazy too. I'm like, no, man, I'm like one bad day away from like making national news. Like.
Yeah, that's not a good icebreaker, Tommy.
No. Hey, man, but I figure I used to have this thing. Me and my friend Miguel would always do it when we'd be like, you know, messaging like, you know, chicks on like dating sites or something. I would always open with poop is stored in the boobs. Hear me out. If she laughed, it meant that she had a good sense of humor. Clearly this is not what I believe.
Yeah.
I took physiology in college. I'm very aware that's not where the poop is stored. But we'd always just say poop is stored in the boobs. Why? Because if they laughed, you immediately got rid of all those wasted hours of small talk, of seeing, hey, is she funny? What's her sense of humor? Vice versa. Is she a little crazy? If you just said something a little fucking unhinged like that and she laughed, to me, it was just like, hey, I just like skipped steps 1 through 9 and went right to 10. Like, hey, like, are we compatible? Like, if she was like, what the fuck? That's stupid. It'd be like, okay, well, probably not going to get along. To me, I just looked at it as skipping.
Well, here's the logic that is like commercialized for like the female perspective. It's, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. But might as well just open with the worst and then be like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Don't even say that. Just open with the worst and be like,
yeah.
You know, that's the way I look at it. Is like, don't even put on a facade of like, sanity.
I've just made I've made my flaws very apparent. Like if I see an attractive blonde girl who looks like she has money, I know I don't have a chance. I just don't even like try to engage.
That's another thing. As I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't even like. I'm gonna go try my chances. I'm like, don't even fucking. Who cares?
Dude, I'm very aware. I'm very aware of the type of person I attract. I know that the person I'm attracted to is over romanticized, but I've become more realistic about it.
Yeah. It's stay in your lane. That's one thing I've learned as I got older. I'm like, stay in my lane. Don't break your heart. Yeah. No point.
Well, no, not even break your heart. It's just like, don't waste my time. Like that's really it. Like, at least in New York, because I'm just like, cool.
Yeah.
Dude, because I'm like, in New York, like the whole like connection thing, you definitely became, at one point, it definitely became like a whole like, oh, I'm trying to hook up energy, and then whoever bites on that, that's kind of it. Like, you just kind of, because at least I think it's just like sexual openness there. It's very different than like, you know, anywhere else. Say, in Europe, like the only other place I've experienced like that kind of vibe was like, oh no, I'm only looking to hook up, and then that's cool with everyone. Because like once you get out to more rural areas, everyone's just like, I don't want to make a mistake, and I'm like. Well,
I do.
This was just going to be fun. It wasn't going to be like a full-time investment. Yeah. This is going to be like, like quick internship. Like,
yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong as long as it's like out in the open. Like, I don't, you know, that's not who I am at all. But like, I completely respect, like, I've talked to girls before and flirting. It's like, hey, I just wanted to have fun. I'm like, oh, like, okay, I got you. Like, no, I like had a crush on you, but like, thank you for your openness. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, hey, like, you know, playing like Xbox Live, it's not like, hey, do you want to become best friends? It's like, no, I just needed like a partner, like to like take out this person, right? I just got to get a nut. Like, I'm not trying to build anything.
Dude, I mean, reputation, again, ego does get in the way of a lot of things, but reputation and stuff like that, that's like the big one with like a lot of people. I'm like, oh, Like what are people gonna like that? No matter what, the whole idea of like slut shaming and all that stuff is like that's using someone's actions against them. And I'm just like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one cares. That's
no one gives
I'm
a
like,
fuck.
Besides the two people in the party or whoever is like consenting in the whole situation, that's who it matters to. But everyone thinks more of themselves, and they're like, oh man, they're not gonna like me because I hooked up with her. I'm like, no one cares.
I have a friend named Megan who I've known since 5th grade, and I remember I was talking to her like a year ago or something. And I was like, well, I'm not sure what people would think of this. And I remember she was like, she's like wise beyond her years, and she was like, my dear, it's not that people will think more or less of you, it's that no one's thinking of you, just like no one's thinking of me. And I was like, that's a gut check, but it's true. If you were like, well, I don't know what everyone's gonna think of me, I'm like, Marcus, you've been like out of my reality until I texted you. I was like, yo, do you want to do a podcast? It's like, you just appeared again. It's like, I'm not thinking of 99.999% of people I've ever met or known. It's like the near orbiters at work, family, siblings. Aside from that, man, it's like, I don't give a fuck what you do. As long as you're not like, banging kids on Epstein's Island, like I really don't care. Yeah. Like it's, it's, I think as long as you're just honest and more important, that's another thing this podcast has done, man, is I've talked candidly for so many hours on now episode 147, I think. Yeah, 147 is like I can't like hold together. I can't like piece on a facade of like something else now. Like you're one person with your friends, but then you go out dating and you got to be someone else. Like because I've like been myself for so many hours, I can't possibly like hide it, and because it's all public,
dude. You're not an actor.
I'm not. So I just have to be me now. I have no choice because there's no like anyone can pull up any episode and be like, "What were you saying there?" And it's like, yeah, I guess you're right. So I don't put on any facade anymore. It's just like I can't.
That's good.
Yeah. Hey, you want to do like can you do 12 more minutes?
Yeah, of course, no worries, man. I'm still here with it.
Woo, good. Yeah. I found that the ideal time is like 60 to 90 minutes. I found that's the sweet spot. Any more than that, I realize I start getting foggy, and I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. So what's next for you? What are the chess moves and moving up
in the comedy world?
Yeah,
oh, man, dude. Well, I
love all your posts. I love all your posts. I like all of them. They're fucking hilarious.
Dude, well, I mean, no matter what, like my brain is a comedic brain, so I'm gonna still.
Well, sorry, I'm completely interrupting you as soon as I ask you a question because I'm a cunt. What is that post you made the other day? You're like, comedians are now gentrifying homeless people.
Oh, comedians are now gentrifying homeless people culture by saying crazy shit in the parks. Because, dude, no, like that. I mean, that's the move. Like comedians, like live performance, everyone's kind of either going digital or trying to figure out a way to do COVID socially distant safe shows. But yeah, no, in New York City, they're doing it in like public parks, and I'm like. Another comedian did this joke. He's like, "Hey, don't tell jokes in the parks. My kids play there." I'm just like, valid, because I'm like, all the comedians I'm seeing, because I'm like, it's mostly edgelord. I'll be honest, like a lot of the comedians who are going out now, who are still going out doing mics like they did before the pandemic, or trying to still do shows like they were doing before the pandemic. They're not like the conscious comedians. They're like a lot of like the shock humor, edgelord comedians, and I'm just like, how? And I'm just like, in my mind, because I'm like, I'm seeing the comedians on the lineups, and I know who they are, and I'm just like, oh fuck. I'm just like, they're just saying really like traumatic stuff that children don't need to hear.
Just trying to be shock jocks.
Some weird premises that didn't need to be heard or in public, like in the confines of a comedy club or venue. And then the Zoom comedians are doing their own thing, but those ones, I feel like the Zoom comedians are more established because like it's just all big names, and then like because I'm like they're still trying to profit off people wanting to buy in to watch a Zoom comedy show, and I'm just like I don't think that's my audience. I still think it's live, so I'm like in the middle between like the established and like the edgy comics. So but I'm producing a comedy show outdoors in Portland, Maine, which is cool. COVID's on the decline, but I'm trying to do some outdoor shows. I'm trying to pick up my podcast again because I started that at the beginning of quarantine, and that's before the protests happened. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to release this now because I don't care about it. Neither does anyone out there. Hey guys, Black Lives Matter. Anyway, here's my podcast called Meme Therapy.
Yeah. You're no different than the celebrities. Like,
yeah,
I'm so woke. Here's my new special.
Yeah, so I got 3 episodes of that. I can edit, and then I just need to put it out there. But I'm trying to figure out a way to like be like self-sustaining. I was talking about this because like no one really knows like the direction of entertainment. Like there's so many like, especially like upcoming talent, because it's just like you were either established before or you weren't, and then I'm like it's gonna shift again because like there's so many streaming platforms and like the contracts between stream. I'm sure you've heard it on like other comedians podcasts, but the streaming platforms that like are trying to like buy like rosters of like comedians. Mm-hmm. So I'm like Netflix comedians, Hulu comedians, like Amazon comedians. Unless you're like at a bigger level, that's its own separate thing. And then Comedy Central has their own thing. And then was it Kimmel's stepping down from late night, so there's going to be a new thing. But out of all the late night comedian hosts who've actually provided stuff for people, it's Conan, but Conan's based in LA. So I'm just trying to make a sustainable platform for myself.
Yeah.
On the East Coast at least, so that way I'm like, okay, cool. And Patreon's pretty cool because I'm like I've seen like successful podcast and comedians like be able to run shows, be able to produce things. Yeah, Last Podcast on the Left is my favorite one that I've been seeing for that one because they have their own like independent shows. Because no matter what, as a comedian, it's still like one of those ones where I'm like, you could be funny, but a lot of the industry is based on who you know, what connections you have, what networks will represent you. Because I mean, even just like having like a writing credit for like The Onion or like Hard Times, all the like the satire sites, is still something for the comedy world, not necessarily audiences. Like I've gone on stage and then like, you know, this kind of Comedy Central, and then I get brought up and like he performs all over the city. I've crushed more than the Comedy Central guy, but that's just because they've seen him, they haven't seen me, or he got the audition but I didn't, and it just like comes down to that. So everyone's kind of doing like their different marketing for comedians, and I'm just trying to figure out a sustainable one. Andrew Schultz is like his own, like Andrew Schultz also another like good independent, like he produces his own shows because he has his like entertainment is crowdfunded by his audience. I'm just like I'm trying to figure out how to put myself in that way.
Fuck yeah.
But dude, it is weird because like I'm besides comedy, I do writing. And like, you know, you need to write for an existing, like getting original stuff produced is hard if you don't have money or the connection. And then I still do acting. So I'm just like, I like, no matter what, I still need to like, I need to be working for someone. I can't like, I'm like, it is a job.
Yeah. Trying
to create sustainability for my career.
Oh, dude, I still haven't turned this into money. I have no fucking idea how to, dude. I have no idea how to. That's why I got a job at a liquor store. Cause I was like, dog, I have no money. I have nothing. So that, yeah, dude, that's, to me, that's the alchemy. Is how does this turn into money? And it's it's the only thing I can think of is, I don't know, at its core, I think you just probably got to stay as like appealing and as accessible to as many people as possible. I think like, and that's easier said than done, living above my parents' garage. I'm sure if some company offered me any amount of money, I'd be like, sure, I'll sign right the fuck on. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe limiting yourself to just Spotify or just Netflix or just Amazon or just Comedy Central. I think you place like a ceiling on yourself. Like you can't, you can never get over that. Like Bill Burr on Rogan said something that like has just stuck in my head for the last month. He was just like, don't fucking sign anything ever. Just keep it your own. It might take twice as long, but you will make 1,000 times as much.
Yeah. Like, because that was a big one too. Because even was it Michaela Cole, the British comedian, writer, actor? She turned out Netflix's big offer, because she wanted to own her creative rights. And I'm just like, it's still one of the weird ones where I'm like, you turn down the platform, but you're protecting the art. But she's also been established. So I'm like, even though she loses like the big opportunity, she's very well aware of her.
She still has
worth.
An apartment. Like,
Dude, I mean, that's the unfortunate part. Because I'm like, I've definitely taken on, I've definitely done shows and jobs where I'm just like, I'll do it for the exposure, and I'm like, this is my favorite like saying of a comedian, where he's just like, yo, I can't make sandwiches out of exposure. How am I supposed to feed myself?
Do it for the exposure. I thought that was a crime, was exposing yourself. You're right. I think it's probably also a lot easier to be able to like turn down people if you have money. Like, right, dude. I just want fuck you money. That's like like we were talking about financial status. I want fuck you money, the Republican leaning vote, and then maybe go to the human hunting island like one time. Just once. I'll do it one time.
I'm not gonna make it a habit. Get out of my system.
Exactly. Do it once. Go to rehab. I'll just get it over with. Just go dip my balls in.
I'll pay to wipe all crimes off my hands, so that way there's no paperwork.
Yeah.
Fun jazz.
But I still want to keep my Bubba contacts.
I'm gonna take all my Bubbas up with me and be like, hey, actually, I had 4 Bubba friends, and this is the best financial advice I can give.
Started at the Bubba, now we're here. Yeah. Create a Drake song about starting from the bottom. Now you and all your Bubbas.
I want to write a fictional financial advice book that's full of bullshit, but just have enough money that people are just like, I'll listen to him because he made it.
Pay Warren Buffett to like do a forward.
Dude, zero. Dude, because I have enough self-help books that I'm just like, and like it varies from mental self-help to financial self-help, and I'm just like, the mental self-help, solid. The financial self-help, how do I turn all the mental self-help stuff into seemingly financial gaining information? I'm like, lies.
Yeah.
All the financial stuff, lies.
Just lie
same thing with
fucking
like
teeth.
Same thing with the relationship stuff, relations self-help books, also lies. Like they're kind of cheat codes, but I'm like, not really, because you don't live in a vacuum.
They're absolutely lies. I think the best explanation I ever saw was why would they ever offer you actual advice that helped you get in a relationship? Then they would lose their entire audience. You got to keep people out of relationships so that way you can keep selling them relationship advice. You can't actually.
That's true.
It's like you don't offer a cure; you offer a treatment.
Well, dude, I don't know. There's one relationship person who I watch a bunch because she's smart, because the way that she sells it to you is it's not just your fault. It's their fault. It's also your fault. So, but you can't like that's it. Like it just talks about like, because I like at one point I was just reading relationship advice books for content, but also like a comedic topic to talk about, but also like self-improvement, because I was like, oh, and then it talks about like it's the way that you understand like who you are as a person and how you like people, or how you show affection. Because I'm like, Esther Pavel, she does a really good stuff on like attachment styles. So I'm like, if you're a detached person, but it also goes back Freudian, because I'm like, if you have bad relationship stuff, it's because your parents love you too much or didn't love you enough. And then I'm like, and the healthiest relationship people are people who are okay with you leaving, but okay with you coming in. So I'm just like, all right, awesome. So no jealousy. I was like, fuck, dude. And I'm like, and then it's one of those things where I'm just like, because you can't when you start reading about that stuff, you can't improve on that stuff now because the problem was your childhood. So I'm like, well, cool. Now I have this information. Like, is there a time machine that I'm just like, hey, love him more, but hit him a couple more times? Like, we got to figure this out.
Is that where the billionaire mind transfer comes into?
Dude, yeah.
Clone a kid.
Yeah, that relationship stuff, definitely. There's definitely now a millionaire entrepreneur bullshit guy, bro type, who's like surrounded by women, but then he like, you know, he's like a Dan Bilzerian, but then he gives some bullshit advice, being like, oh, dude, even though I have all these bitches, like, you know, I'll never be happy because my detachment style.
It's like, fuck off, dude. It's like, listen, this isn't the answer. I know I have 12 abs and I have a bunch of dimes around me as I'm on my 4th floor pool of my LA mansion, but this isn't the answer, bro. But it's just not the answer, you know.
It is, dude. At least it's not as shitty as, dude. My favorite financial advice guy is actually Gary Vee, because he says absolutely nothing worth mentioning. He's like, yo, don't be a piece of shit. Just fucking do it. Like, there's no capital up front. He never talks about like financial investments. It's all about mindset, and like that's it. He redirects finances into mindset. He's just like, well, dude, just go out there and sell it. And then if you didn't sell it, you're a bad businessman because you should have known what the people want. Mindset, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, Jesus. Because, like, I'll say this, culturally, the best show that's a kind of a game show talk show, but I think it's helped a lot of people, is Shark Tank, because there's just a lot of bad ideas, but people are still like, all right, cool. But I'm just like, it is a lot of confidence in how well you have your information prepared, how well you can do a show. Because even when I go into like if I go into a talent agency, I'm just like, hey, I'm trying to get signed as a talent agency. I have like a Shark Tank style presentation. Well, I'm Filipino, so I hit this market. But I'm also from New England, so I hit a couple different markets that would never be hit before.
Yeah,
and it's like its own bullshit like thing that happens.
Yeah,
but yeah, Shark Tank is one of those weird bullshit game shows that I watch because I'm just like, it seems like trash, but I'm like, it actually helps people see what are good ideas and bad ideas.
Yeah, as more time goes on, I'm just like, I don't think anyone really fucking knows about anything.
Yeah.
Like, I think Stephen King said that, like, he has his book, I think it's called On Writing. Yeah. And he said, like, someone was like, oh, is this what you would have told yourself if you were younger? And he was like, well, no, because no one told me anything when I was younger, and I became very successful. So, like, by not having the right thing, I became successful. Yeah, I don't think anyone knows. It's like, I don't know if that makes sense. I think you just gotta fucking wing it, and like, you might die.
You just gotta produce what you gotta produce, and then you need to have it become popular with rich people, so that way poor people want it.
Yeah. I think it's just like, you know, be rich and be attractive. And if you're not either of those, everything is going to be a lot more difficult.
Or, yeah, and if you're neither of those, at least make it.
If you need. You broke up.
Rich people.
Marcus?
Oh, what's up?
You said
I'm here.
You said if neither of those, and then you broke up.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're neither rich or handsome, all you need to do is provide something entertaining that is for the rich and handsome people, and then that's why poor people doing dumb shit is so popular among rich people. That's why the Jackass guys were a thing.
That's true. Yeah, or just learn how to shoot a gun and be someone's mercenary. Every billionaire needs someone guarding their yacht. I don't know. Don't listen to me or Marcus. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
We don't know what's happening. But I have never done bounty hunting, but it seems like a fun career.
If I'll ask Phil, I'll start hunting bounties. Marcus, my internet's shit in the bed, so let's wrap this bitch up.
Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah. How do you want to sign off? Okay, anyway, guys, thank you for having me, Tommy, on the Tommy Kerrigan podcast.
Plug all your shit again, man. If you already did when I went to the bathroom.
I'll plug it one more time. My name is Marcus Cardona. I'm a comedian. Friends with Tommy. Thank you for having me on the podcast, Tommy. Follow me on Instagram at Marcus Cardona. That's MarcusCardona on Instagram, or you can go to www.marcuscardona.com, where I have my writings, some stand-up videos, my Instagram, and then stay tuned for my Patreon page that will eventually happen. And I'll probably hit up Tommy and be like, hey, Tommy, I need to plug this. But I have a show, if you're watching this and you're in the New England area, August 14th, Thompson's Point. I'm producing a comedy show called Cabin Fever. It's an outdoor comedy show. There are only 47 tickets now for sale because it was 50 capacity because of
state regulations, a very legal comedy show. Get tickets. Great lineup of local comedians, New England. Heavy.
You should.
Anyway, yeah, that's me.
You should change the name of your act to your show to the Very Legal Comedy Show.
It's very
definitely legal.
All my shows are technically.
All my shows are technically legal. They're technically legal. That would be a great name. Technically legal. That's the name of your special.
Technically legal. All of this is technically legal. I can do this.
I think you should change the name to that. And you sent me links last time. I'll put them all in the top comment and in the description. And till next time, brother. Hope you don't die, and I hope I don't die.
Always a pleasure, Tommy.
Same.
Survive.
COVID 2020.
COVID 2020. Bye.
All right, brother. Peace.